After soaring to stardom as Jill Munroe, Farrah Fawcett became known for her dazzling smile and signature hairstyle, but life behind the camera rarely matched her glamorous public image. Marriage to Lee Majors was complicated by Hollywood's demands, so much so that her contract for her breakout role included a clause allowing her to wrap up filming every day by 7 in the evening. The popularity of Charlie's Angels in its first season was electric, yet Farrah stunned fans and producers alike by breaking her 5-year agreement and leaving after just 1 year, tempted by bigger roles and strained by the heavy workload. This decision sparked a legal battle when Aaron Spelling and ABC sued her for millions due to breach of contract. Forced back briefly as a guest star while litigation continued, Farrah's presence lingered on the show even as Cheryl Ladd stepped in to fill her spot. Conflict among the cast simmered, with Kate Jackson voicing frustration about colleagues and ultimately leaving herself. Personal turmoil dogged Farrah's career with stories of failed relationships, legal squabbles, and wild tabloid rumors, including drug use dominating headlines. Years later, her $6 million estate sparked one last controversy, not for its size, but because she chose to leave everything to her son, omitting longtime partner Ryan Meal entirely. After gaining fame on television, Farrah Fawcett turned her sights to the movies, hoping for new success, but her early roles didn't impress critics or audiences and struggled at the box office. The part she took didn't help her shake off the image of a TV star. That started to change when she joined the cast of Cannonball Run in 1981, a wild racing comedy packed with big stars and high-speed jokes. The film was a hit with audiences and stood out in her career, but tough critics singled out Farrah for a Golden Raspberry Award as Worst Supporting Actress, a disappointment at a time she was searching for respect as a movie performer. Even so, she didn't give up. In 1984, she made a huge impact by starring in the TV movie The Burning Bed. Playing the role of a battered wife, Farrah stunned viewers and critics alike with her honest portrayal of a woman battered by domestic violence who fights back. It was a difficult subject, but she played it with such feeling and strength that it changed the way people saw her acting, earning her her first Emmy nomination and more serious recognition in Hollywood circles. Many years later, in the year 2000, Farrah took on another challenging film role in Dr. T and the Women. Playing the wife of Richard Gere's character, she made the bold choice to appear completely nude for the first time in her career, which became a topic of conversation and marked a turning point in her willingness to take risks on screen. Each of these projects showed a different side of her talent, and the risks she was willing to take to leave behind her days as just a TV icon. After years of being known mostly for her classic beauty and iconic poster, Farrah Fawcett made a dramatic shift in 1983 when she took on a gritty new challenge on Broadway in the play Extremities. The role was a clear break from her previous lighthearted image, showing her determination to be seen as a serious actress. Critics responded strongly to her performance, with many praising her emotional range and intensity. This bold move earned Farrah not just better reviews than she had ever received before, but it also resulted in major award nominations. Both the Golden Globe and the Emmy committees recognized her for her work in Extremities, highlighting how her fearless acting left a memorable impression. More than a decade later, Farrah stunned the public and the entertainment industry again, this time by posing half-naked in Playboy magazine's December 1995 issue. People were surprised to see a star so closely tied to a wholesome image embracing such a revealing shoot, yet Farrah's confidence and artistry made it clear that she was in control of her own public persona. Then, in July 1997, she took things even further by using her own body as a canvas, letting artists paint directly on her skin for a special Playboy feature. The magazine quickly became one of Playboy's bestsellers, a testament to the lasting fascination with Farrah's mix of glamour, risk, and reinvention. Her choices in these moments challenged expectations, and her willingness to step into new territory continued to define how audiences and critics viewed her career. Later in her life, drugs created constant chaos around Farrah Fawcett and the ones closest to her. The Fawcett O'Neill family's struggles with addiction became a matter of public record, starting with Ryan O'Neill's run-ins with the law and their son Redmond's ongoing addiction issues. In 2008, Ryan was arrested for possession of meth, claiming that the drugs belonged to their son. At the same time, Redmond was facing his own problems. His addiction led to multiple arrests and stints in rehab, with each episode making headlines. Ryan's daughter, Tatum O'Neil, added another layer of pain by accusing her father of abusive behavior and wrong relationships in her book A Paper Life, describing a deeply fractured household where addiction and conflict were always present. Strained relationships and addiction influenced decisions as Farrah became seriously ill. Near the end of her life, Ryan stopped Greg Lott, one of Farrah's closest friends, from seeing her in her final days, shutting out someone who had supported her for years. Even as Farrah was dying, Redmond was in such serious legal trouble that he had to visit his mother in chains, under guard, because of his own battles with drugs and the law. All these events together painted a picture of a family plagued by addiction, public struggles, and deep personal loss, with Farrah caught at the center as those around her faced crisis after crisis. When Farrah Fawcett reunited with her former boyfriend Greg Lott in 1998, the moment reignited old feelings and brought back memories of their earlier relationship. Their connection stood as a point of comfort and drama as her life continued to play out in the public eye. Even after reuniting with Ryan O'Neal in 2001, questions swirled around Farrah's true feelings. Greg Lott publicly claimed that Farrah and Ryan O'Neal's renewed relationship was only for publicity. According to him, Farrah truly loved and confided in him up until her last days, which brought a sense of bitterness and heartfelt longing to the story. He insisted that there was a deep bond between them, and the outside world didn't always understand what went on behind closed doors. This version of events clashed sharply with the loving, high-profile image Farrah and O'Neal sometimes presented to the media, making the truth hard to sort out. By 2005, Farrah decided to let viewers into a different side of her life with the TV Land reality series Chasing Farrah. The show followed her everyday life in Texas, giving audiences a close look at her routines, relationships, and personal struggles. It highlighted her charm and vulnerability, allowing people to see a more down-to-earth side of the performer who had become so famous for her beauty and roles in Hollywood. The series pulled back the curtain and let fans visit her home, witness her family interactions, and watch her navigate the challenges that came with aging in show business. During this time, Farrah's life remained entwined with both public personas and private truths, complicated by the stories and claims of those who professed love for her. People close to her, and even some viewers, were left to wonder what parts of her relationships were real, and which were portrayed for the cameras. Farrah's journey through these relationships and her time on reality TV painted a picture of a woman who was far more complex than the images ever suggested, always challenging the simple stories that made headlines. After Farrah was diagnosed with anal cancer in 2006, her life changed dramatically. She began an intense fight against the disease, hoping for recovery, and chose to share her journey with the public. With the help of friends, she decided to record what she was experiencing, showing both the medical treatments and the emotional challenges she faced. As her health changed over time, Farrah continued to let the cameras capture her struggle, offering an honest and open look at every step. The footage became a documentary called Farrah's Story, which aired on NBC in May 2009. In it, viewers saw not only the pain and difficulties of cancer treatment, but also her determination to keep going. The documentary provided a rare glimpse into the realities of living with cancer, making her battle visible to millions of people. Later that year, on June 25, 2009, Farrah died from the cancer at the age of 62. On the same day, news of Michael Jackson's sudden death broke, drawing much public attention and causing her death to receive less coverage than it might have otherwise. Even after Farrah Fawcett found huge success as an actress, her private life was full of difficulties, mostly shaped by her loyalty to her only child, Redmond. When she passed away, much of her $6 million fortune was left to him, showing how much she cared about his future above everything else. Despite having a life partner in Ryan O'Neal, Farrah made the decision not to include him in her will. Instead, she left specific amounts to other family members and her college sweetheart Greg Lott. But it was Redmond who stood at the center of her final wishes. In her last moments, her thoughts were for her son. Her final words reflected that deep bond. After her passing, however, Redmond's troubles grew. He faced ongoing legal issues that stretched out for years and struggled with his mental health. Eventually, he found himself in a state hospital, far from the life Farrah probably hoped he would have. The fortune she set aside for him could not protect Redmond from the many personal battles he faced, making her story, and his, one of both love and heartbreak. During the years Farrah Fawcett starred on Charlie's Angels, costume changes became one of her trademarks. The producers invested in expensive wardrobes, making sure her character always looked fashionable and fresh. Farrah became known for changing outfits more than any of her co-stars, and quickly set a record for the number of costume changes in a single episode. This approach translated into a sense of glamour and style that audiences came to expect from the show, and every week eyes were on what she would wear next. At the same time, John Forsythe, whose iconic voice portrayed the always unseen Charlie Townsend, enjoyed a long and respected career. He remained the one consistent voice throughout the TV show's run, lending an air of mystery and authority to the unseen boss. When the franchise leapt to the big screen decades later, Forsythe returned to voice Charlie, maintaining continuity for longtime fans. Meanwhile, David Doyle, who played Bosley, offered comic relief and heartfelt moments among the trio of angels. After Charlie's Angels ended, Doyle became a familiar face on television game shows, using his charm and quick wit. His television appearances made him recognizable to people who may not have watched Charlie's Angels. Doyle's life ended in 1997, but his time as Bosley and his warm-hearted presence on screens left a lasting